Let's get to some questions from the interwebs.
First question. Jocko, what is your relationship to surfing? Could you surf on active duty? And what does surfing do for you?
Okay, so my relationship with surfing. Number one, I was lucky to have a guy that, when I was a kid up in Maine, that said, hey, I'm going to teach you how to surf. This guy was a lifeguard. He was an outstanding surfer. And he said, I'm going to teach you how to surf. And I was a 10-year-old kid. And I said,
ice water?
In the freezing cold water. And I said, yeah, awesome. And so he gave me an old surfboard and put me out there and taught me how to surf when I was 10 years old. And it definitely, surfing up in Maine is a little bit different because it's dark and it's cold. And you got to do a little bit of suffering if you want to enjoy the benefits of it. You got to know the darkness, as they say.
Anything about the darkness of surfing. On Kauai, it's not very cool.
Yeah, on Kauai, you didn't have to deal with that. So that's how I got into surfing. And surfing, a lot of people will tell you when you do it, it's somewhat addictive because it's a very kind of paradoxical thing because it's very relaxing and at the same time it's very kind of exciting, I guess is the word. You get a little adrenaline, but you get a little mellowed out too. So it's a very fun thing to do. Good for you. It's good for your brain. It's good for the soul.
Right.
And when I was on active duty, if you're on active duty in the SEAL teams, yeah, you can surf. And I definitely surfed. Sometimes I was more focused on surfing than others. When I really went BJJ crazy, I wasn't doing anything else with any free time other than jiu-jitsu. So but yeah, there's guys in the SEAL teams that actually manipulate their career around surfing because you can get stationed and you can go on trips to great surf spots and all that. And there's some pretty amazing surfers in the SEAL teams, in the military as well. But I mean, I only know about guys in SEAL teams. There's a guy named Ivan Trent, whose dad was Buzzy Trent, a famous old pioneer surfer in Hawaii. And Ivan Trent, there was a picture when I first got in the SEAL teams, there was a picture of Ivan Trent dropping in on a giant wave at Waimea Bay, the famous Waimea Bay. So there's some great surfers. It's definitely a little subculture inside the teams, and you can definitely surf a lot. I mean, you're living in San Diego or Virginia Beach. I mean, Virginia Beach has waves sometimes. San Diego has waves a lot of the times. And what does it do for me? Well, one thing is it gets you outside, gets me outside, and gets you out into nature. And what I like about nature is nature makes you feel small. That's what nature, to me, that's what's good about nature. That's why nature puts things in perspective, because nature makes you feel small. Makes you realize, you know what, look at the ocean. I'm nothing. Look at the giant wilderness I'm in. I'm nothing. So it just keeps you in check and keeps you in perspective. And that's actually one of the things that probably the only thing I don't like about jiu-jitsu is pretty much the most part. It's inside. It's inside the gym on the mat.
Right.
And so, you can do it outside, but it's hard to do outside. The mats get super hot.
Yeah.
It's just 1,000 times more efficient and convenient to do inside.
It's novel outside.
It's novel, cool, exactly. It's cool to do sometimes. And at my old house, I had like a full outdoor jiu-jitsu area, which was cool. And I had a shade structure over it. It was good. But you have to have something to that extent before. It's not like you can just do jiu-jitsu outside, and you can do it. But it's novel. And if you do it in grass, you get the grass itches.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know what it is. When you do jiu-jitsu in grass, you're all itchy.
Yeah. But even that's kind of not, how this is more when you're younger. When you first learn jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
you
yeah.
just got
when
your
you first
belt
learn it, you're doing jiu-jitsu everywhere.
Friend, you're at the party and
everything's a mat when you're a blue belt.
Yeah,
you're just looking at everything like it's a mat.
Yep.
And so I think with other people, some people, obviously you're not by the ocean, but anything outside, running, hiking, biking, swimming, even playing outdoor sports like soccer and shooting basketball outside, just whatever. Just get outside. Just get outside. Get out in the air. Feel it. And I'll tell you one more thing about jiu-jitsu and surfing. There's a little connection there. There's a little connection between jiu-jitsu and surfing. I don't know what it is.
I know what it is.
Do you know what it is? What is it?
I'll
Balance?
talk about later.
Well, you got like even Kelly Slater, who's, what is he, the 11-time, 12-time champion of the world in surfing? He does jiu-jitsu. You got guys like Joel Tudor. JT. If you don't know who Joel Tudor is, he's just a legendary longboard surfer. And actually, he's from San Diego, so we kick it with JT from time to time. And actually, I see him on a regular basis at the longboard surfing contest because both his kid and my kid surf on the longboards. But Joel Tudor, who's a literally one of the most, many people consider him to be the best longboard surfer of all time.
Oh, dang.
Of all time. Yeah. You didn't even know he was that good, did you?
I knew he, of all time, I didn't know
He's that
but
good.
I believe it.
And I'm not going to make that declaration because then a million people will say, no, it should be this guy. But there are many people in the world who consider Joel Tudor to be the best longboard surfer of all time.
I met Joel Tudor in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He just started coming, and Shannon was like, "Hey, roll with him. He's good at jiu-jitsu." So I was like, "Oh, cool." He was like a brown belt at the time, and I rolled, and he's really good at jiu-jitsu. And I was like, "Okay, cool, Joel." And I see him during the day. It was like mellow group, and he'd come to the day. I'd roll with Joel sometimes.
Yeah.
And be like, "Cool, Joel Tudor. He's this kind of guy who's smaller than me, we'll say, and he's better than me. Cool." One day, you know who told me Joel Tudor was a badass longboarder?
Who?
Cake Nuts.
Cake Nuts.
Hey, is that Joel Tudor in that picture right there with
Joel
you and
Tudor?
Shannon? I was like, yeah. How do you know? He goes, bro, that's a longboarder. He's so badass. That's funny.
Yeah. And not only is he so awesome at surfing, his jiu-jitsu is sick too.
Yes.
So Joel Tudor's one, and then once you go Brazilian in this scenario, then there's all kinds of surfing going on because that's a culture down there. My first instructor Fabio Santos, he's a badass surfer. Hoyler, Hickson, even Kid Pelegro, he's So there's definitely and when you just meet guys surfing, there's like a decent chance that they train the jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And so you said you know what the connection is?
I know of some connections, yes.
Which
some major ones.
Speak.
Okay. So
educate.
Okay, so
me.
It's one of these things where kind of on the surface, it feels like you against this big wash of a challenge, right? Both of them. But really, it's not. It's not like this challenge that you take on. It's more of a challenge that you kind of just ride with, and it's more you yourself. So, and on top of it, and that could be anything, that could be mountain climbing, whatever. But this is jiu-jitsu and surfing. It always changes. It's not different. It may seem same in one way or another. It's same, but every single experience is different.
Yeah,
and it's not something you can just take control of. It's not one of those things.
Yeah.
It's you have to ride the wave.
Yes.
And in surfing, it's literally in jiu-jitsu, it's you got to go with it. You can't fight it. Just like you can't fight a wave. You got to, and it's and they're both that.
Yes.
So of course, they take balance, but those are just little small physical attributes.
Right. Because other sports take balance too.
A lot of them do, yeah. But it's you. I mean, it's kind of a spiritual type thing to say. It's you against yourself.
Right.
But that's really what it is. It's like you have to improve yourself. It's not about conquering this, maybe psychologically it is, but it's still within yourself and it's constantly changing.
That's getting philosophical.
It's true though.
But I like it. Yeah, no, that's good. And my last comment on that was both of them, both surfing and jiu-jitsu, they empty my brain out. They empty my brain out and they give me a nice clean slate to do other things with.
Yep.
So that's that. All right.
For the record, it come from Kauai, but sorry to say I don't surf.
Yeah. No.
But, bruh, I used to shred bodyboarding and body surfing.
Sponger.
Yeah, total sponger. Oh, and by the way, it's Waimea, not Waimea.
Oh.
I'm correcting you because you're my friend. But I don't want to be a corrector.
That's correct.
Correct?
Correct.
You give me okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it could be Waimea, I guess, right? It's just pronunciation. It's spelled Waimea, but
I'm a gringo. What can I say?
Gringo. Waimea Bay, Hawaiian. If you be a corrector too much, you become the guy that people are tolerating. So you don't want to be the guy at the party that people are tolerating.
You don't want to be that guy.
No matter how smart you want them to think you are.
Well, you just proved your intelligence.
You gave me
there.
permission.